What about the upcoming Brexit has changed your plans, or how are you preparing for that as far as your clinical trial strategy, both for European biotechs and US biotechs?
Well, to be candid with you, pay little attention to it for the simple reason that you can't control it. What will be determined occurs, and we'll adjust our regulatory strategy and our development strategy accordingly. I mean, we're interested, of course, but we can't control it. We're a bit unusual in that we're a US-based company that's actually doing our first global clinical trials outside the United States.
Okay.
In hepatitis B, the prevalence is substantial globally, but it's really prevalent in Asia. Mm-hmm. So our first trials that we're doing, we're currently in our definitive phase 2 trials, are in Asia primarily. So we've just begun our discussions with the FDA and the EMA. We've been very collaborative. But frankly, because in our business, time is money. Patient enrollment has to go rapidly. Like even the large pharmas in this space go to Asia first. So we're actually doing our trials in Hong Kong, Taiwan, South Korea, and in Vancouver and Toronto in Canada, where there are large Asian first immigrant populations. So we have a bit of an odd, if you will, scenario in that we're a US-based company doing our trials outside the US, but we'll come to the US later this year.
And do you have
So to your question around Brexit, I think we are just starting to see the changes that this will imply. We know that the EMA is now moving to Amsterdam from London. But to what extent this is going to impact sort of the clinical trial application process, conduct, etc., I think is something that we will need to see and that will evolve over the next couple of months and years.
And to second that, as far as EMA moving out of London and into Amsterdam, of course, in the short term, there's probably going to be some disruption, at least to the personnel, and therefore the operations. But I believe just over the last 48 hours, UK announced that they intend to remain in the EMA, both with respect to the regulations and the pricing strategies. So in that sense, in the long term, we do not anticipate any big disruption.
I guess that's good to hear.
We're London-based, but we also have a place here in the United States, here in California, and it really hasn't changed our clinical strategy in the sense that all we're concerned about is generating the evidence. And then we have great collaborative conversations with EMA or FDA. But I think, like was just said, I think if there's anything that might occur is some kind of hiccup on scheduling meetings and so on as they transition out of London into Amsterdam.
We were using in our phase 3, this name is voluntary harmonized procedure. That means that we can have one country, and that was UK, in order to have the type of question for clinical trial. And that was very useful to use this technology without the Brexit impact, because that was in collaboration with all the countries in Europe.